Let's take a deep dive into the wild world of Metalhead TikTok, guaranteed to make you cringe. Now, before we do this, as always, I need to give you a warning. I need you to prepare yourself for what we're about to do. So before you continue with this video, I need you to do a few things. Number one, make sure you're properly hydrated. I would suggest some electrolytes. Number two, make sure you've warmed up and stretched. Last thing that we need you to do is throw out your back and have to call in to work tomorrow because you hurt yourself from excessive cringing. I mean, imagine that. Imagine tomorrow morning, you've got an important call at 9 a.m. and your boss sees a text from you at 8:30. It's like, hey, Mike, listen, I'm not going to be able to make it to the meeting. I threw my back out, cringing too hard at Metal TikToks last night. And he says, God damn it, Jeff, how many times have I told you to hydrate and warm up before you watch Finn McKenzie's TikTok videos? So that's just, listen, I just got to say it. And I would say, just to be safe, I would wear a helmet and maybe some elbow pads, just to be safe. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's take a deep dive into Metalhead TikTok. And really quickly, I also wanted to mention my Patreon. If you like what I do on YouTube and everywhere else, joining my Patreon really helps me do this full time and worry less about videos getting demonetized by YouTube or copyright claimed by labels. Patrons get all my podcasts and main channel videos early. There are members only channels in my Discord that I'm super active in. I also do giveaways. For example, I've been giving away a lot of Emo's Not Dead merch, and you can also have me review your music, artwork, or anything else. All you need to do is join my Patreon at the $10 level, and then every month I do a call for submissions. If you want me to review something, just drop it in the comments of that post, and then I will review it live on Twitch. So if any of that sounds cool to you, hit the link in the description of this video, and I appreciate your support. First one here from Nunslaughter Slut. Interesting name. The Try Not to Headbang Challenge. Let's see what Nunslaughter Slut is trying to headbang to.
Try Not to Headbang Impossible Metalhead Edition.
Okay. Rob Zombie. Okay, I like it. I like that she's refused to headbang to Rob Zombie. What else do we have? We've got Rammstein. Du Hast, also not headbanging. I like it so far because one of my biggest, I'll tell you what makes me just seethe with rage. What makes me look like this guy right here is the fact that people take Rammstein seriously. That's what I think. I feel like I'm the only person in this crazy world that does not think Rammstein is good. What? Today, I found an ally. Nunslaughter Slut confirmed that I am indeed not the only person in the world that thinks Rammstein is mid. Marilyn Manson also not headbanging. Even Slipknot not respect. Listen, I respect, she looks like she's in her early 20s. I respect any Gen Z person that's not on the new metal revival train. So respect to her. I don't know what the shit this is. Some awful power metal crap. Not even Metallica. Wow, I like it. Respect. Once again, maybe she's a real death metaler. She's wearing a Cannibal Corpse shirt. Not even headbanging for Metallica. I like it. I don't know what this is. Okay, so all of a sudden she starts headbanging to the most mid-thrash riff of all time. Listen, I guess this is the moment where I officially tap out and I say, I no longer understand the kids. Oh, it's Gojira. God, it's Gojira? Was it really? Girl, come on. You're not in Metallica, but you're into Gojira? Come on. Ugh. Whatever respect I had for you instantly flushed away. Gojira is just like the new fucking Devil Driver. That's all they are. I'm sorry. I'm disappointed. Let's see what this girl has to say here. This is me whenever a guy says he listens to metal. Let's see what she has to say. Doing the classic trick here of wearing a metal shirt with no pants. I remember when girls started doing this on Tumblr. You know, they would wear like, I don't know, a Bathory shirt or something with no pants so that they could collect all the attention from Tumblr simps. It seems that trick still works. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I love rowdy music. Who are you rocking out to? Let me guess. Bizkit?
No.
Okay. Korn?
No.
System?
No.
Rammstein?
No.
Slipknot?
No.
God damn, you gotta hand it to him, Deb. He knows a lot of bands.
It's too many bands.
Disturbed?
No.
Papa Roach?
No.
Manson?
No.
Marilyn? Not
So what is? Well, I'm confused about what she's fishing for here. She's listed a bunch of entry-level bands like Megadeth and Lacuna Coil. I get the sense that she's like gatekeeping this imaginary metal guy, which I support. I support more girls gatekeeping metalhead guys, but I'm confused what she's going for here. That's right. Just remember, whatever she likes, just agree with it. Okay. That's the move.
Deftones?
No.
Soulfly?
No.
Godsmack?
No.
Oh my
Jesus,
God,
all right, just tell me what
Windier.
you're into.
Ugh.
What do you listen to? Just tell me.
Post Malone?
Post Malone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard some of their shit.
See, I like that move. If you've never heard of a band and someone asks you about it, I like the move where you say like, "Oh, I've never heard them, but I've heard their name." I like that. And I also like how the person in the sound clip referred to Post Malone as them. I like that. That's sort of the opposite of the move that I like to do. Like when someone talks about Soundgarden and I like to refer to Soundgarden as him. They're like, "Oh yeah, I met Soundgarden once. He was really cool. Great guy. Shorter than I thought, though." Now, this is the opposite. When someone mentions Post Malone, you're like, "Yeah, I love them. They're great. Their new song, super cool, right? What do you think of their new song?" So I like that. It's a good one. Oh, this is the same girl. Okay. Nunslaughter Slut, the same girl who was doing our headbang challenge. Let's see. So this is I Need a Metalhead GF. And I see she's got a Dark Throne poster in the back of her room. She's also got a Prince poster, I think, in the back of the room. So, not very metal. 1 for 2 when it comes to metal credentials.
What you looking for? We got what you looking for. What you looking for? We got what
Oh, she's got all her vinyl.
What you looking for?
Got her obituary and looks like Cradle of Filth, I think. Here's my advice. If you go over to a girl's house and she has obituary vinyl, normally I would say just pretend to like whatever she likes for the sake of touching boobies. But this is enough of a red flag that I feel like it might be better for you to say that you forgot something in your car and then just peel out and never go back. A girl that has obituary vinyl, she's either trying really hard to impress metal dudes, which would be sad, or she actually likes it, which is worse. Here's what you do. Cock block yourself. Tell her that your favorite band is Skillet. Be like, "Oh, hell yeah. I love all that hard rock screamo shit. Big fan of Skillet and Power Man 5000. That's what I would do. The longer you stay with her, the bigger chances she'll want you to get a Prince Albert piercing. I feel like you know this type of girl very well. So that's my advice. Just tell her you like Power Man 5000 and Skillet. So then she will delete you from her life on her own. Everyone wants a Metalhead GF till you look over and see this. Let's see what it is. I feel like this is accurate. This is very accurate. If I happened to go over to a girl's house back in the days when I was single, if I went over to a girl's house and she put on some deathcore band like this and started headbanging, I can confirm that that would indeed completely ruin my boner. I mean, can you think of anything more cringe than that? Like going over to a girl's house, you know, she puts on this deathcore band and like all of a sudden starts headbanging. And even me, as like a extremely horny 19-year-old who would do just about anything to touch a boobie, even that is an amount of cringe that would ruin my boner. I'm sorry. Just trying a little bit too hard. I went over to a girl's house and she had a butt rock playlist with Creed and Hinder on when we got to her bedroom. There we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When she does this, she does the thing, she goes, "Excuse me while I slip into something a little bit more comfortable." And when you turn around, she pressed play on Lips of an Angel and she put on her Fox Racing jersey. That's how you know you picked the right girl. If she starts headbanging, it's time to run. Here's something I'm on board with. Attention all thrash metalheads, you're not cool for listening to your dad's music taste and trying to reminisce on a time you were never part of one of the lamest genres of metal. I feel like there's probably a lot of salt in these comments, but I gotta say, I am on board with this. Props to Fuck Tori for calling it like it is. I'm sorry, thrash metal is dad music. She's got her Lorna Shore shirt on. Respect for listening to a current band. Thrash metal is straight up dad music. Listen, I'm 45 years old, and I'm a little bit too young to have experienced the peak of thrash. Yeah, a lot of salt in here. I like deathcore too, but this is a bold statement of wearing a Lorna Shore shirt. Bro can't say a lot with a Lorna Shore shirt. I like this. Name 10 songs from Lorna Shore, and don't even start with To the Hellfire. This is Joe Biden's inflation, people. It used to be name 3 songs. Now it's name 10 songs. Thanks, Biden. Now I can't even pass my metal certification test with 3 songs. Now I've got to know 10. Okay, next one we've got here from Bolt Throater. I can die happy I met Trey of Morbid Angel. And she's getting her boobies signed by Trey from Morbid Angel.
You should do the Morbid Angel pentagram on her nipple.
My nipple's pierced.
Whoever's recording this says you should do the Morbid Angel pentagram on her nipple.
Angel pentagram on her nipple.
My nipple's pierced.
And she loudly blurts out, I have my nipples pierced. Of course you do. And of course you had to let everybody know that you do.
Thank you so much.
Here's what I like. Here's what a lovely guy Trey is. You see this? Shakes her hand. She asks him to sign her boobies. And he respectfully agrees. He says, okay, sure. No problem. The customer is always right. And then afterwards, rather than being a creep and getting too touchy, he shakes her hand. She says, can I have a selfie? And he says, sure. What a professional. I like it. Trey, you're invited to the barbecue. Slow clap. Slow clap for Trey. Respectfully shaking this young lady's hand. He does seem like a good dude. Okay. Now, next up here, we've got me versus who I'm sitting with. So we've got this person. I don't know. This is an interesting kind of cloak. Okay. I feel like there's a new type of cloak that just dropped. So we've seen before, we've seen a few different variations on something like this, right? So we've seen fingerless gloves, right? Fingerless gloves. I never really understood the point of them because to me, if I'm outside and it's cold and I'm wearing gloves, my palms are not the thing that's getting cold. My fingers are the thing that's getting cold. So I don't understand the point of fingerless gloves, but they exist. Another thing that we've seen is those like sleeves that like nu metal bands would wear, like Coal Chamber and stuff like that. They would be like the fishnet sleeves. And of course, then you've got the inverse of that. You've got the fishnet tank top, also popular with nu metal bands. And now we've got a new type of cloak here, which is like the forearmless cloak. On both sides here, this tattered cloak that's missing the forearms. I'm a little puzzled about this, but I'll go with it. Let's see who this person is contrasting themselves with.
This is the heaviest song you will ever fucking hear! The heaviest song we have ever written! Met a girl and I really thought she liked.
Okay. Sitting with their normie friend in the Tommy Hilfiger polo. It's an interesting thing. Now, if you happen to be seeing this, I'll give you a piece of advice. Back when I was your age, many years ago, I too thought that it was cool to do cringe things. I thought it was going to impress people by how different I was. I thought, oh, won't everyone find me so interesting if I deliberately do this thing to make myself look outlandish and like show everyone how different I am. And I'll tell you what, it did not impress anybody. Nobody thought I was cool. They just thought I was cringe and embarrassing. And maybe they would just like politely laugh and smile like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's a really cool, like edgy shirt. Great. Yeah, we get it. You like metal. This is my advice. You are already weird enough as it is. Okay. You were born weird. So was I. You do not need to exaggerate your natural weirdness by going out of your way to beat them over the head with how weird you are, because guess what? They already knew. So that's my advice, my friend. I mean this in all seriousness. My advice is like, just try to like tone it down. Try to pretend that you're normal. You will fail, but in the course of trying to pretend that you're normal, you will make people like you a little bit more. So that's my advice. That's my advice. I hope it helps. In all seriousness, I mean well. Speaking of cringe and trying too hard to be different, we exchanged guitars instead of rings for our wedding. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. You remember when I told you guys to hydrate and stretch before we watched this to make sure that you didn't injure yourself from cringe? This is why. Imagine you're their family. You know, oh, God. You know what's even worse than the guitars is this guy's wearing sneakers in his wedding. Imagine that this is like, you know, your kid and you're like smiling through the tears. This is you if you are, if you're the dad, the father of either of those two people. You're like, oh, I'm so happy that you're getting married, and oh, it's just so wonderful you found someone that made you happy, son. But inside you're like, oh my God, where did I go wrong? What did I do that my son, number one, would think it's okay to wear sneakers in his wedding? Number two, the exchanging guitars. Oh, I just can't. Listen, here's my advice, okay? Here's my advice. For your wedding, have a normal wedding, okay? Do not make it like metal themed or, you know, comic book themed or whatever it is. Like, have a normal wedding. Trust me. Your family will thank you, and I'm sorry, but the fact of the matter is, your wedding is for your family as much or more as it is for you. And I say this as, you know, my wife listens to the Faceless and Necrophagist and shit like that. Guess what? When we got married, we played fucking, you know, Bruno Mars and Electric Slide and all the same fucking normie songs at our wedding. And there was not a trace of metal or anything to be found anywhere at our wedding because nobody wants to go to your metal wedding. Trust me, you will cringe when you're older. I hope you will cringe when you're married, when you're older. So, and please, for the sake of your children, imagine this. Imagine your future children seeing this. Oh my God, just think, won't someone think of the children? That's right. Once again, being a normie is the biggest Giga Chad move. It is. What about WWE themed? Oh, well, now that's different. Of course, obviously, having a WWE themed wedding is completely different. Both of you should come out wearing Stone Cold 316 shirts. And Fozzy, you need to get Fozzy to play at your wedding. Then it's okay. But that's the only kind of themed wedding that's acceptable. You got to get Fozzy to play the reception. Now let's see this. This is Social Reject Goes Grocery Shopping.
Rest in
Here's what I like about it. This is like the first time that a TikTok caption just told the truth. Social Reject Goes Grocery Shopping. I said to myself, well, that's an accurate caption. At least they know the score. Social rejection by choice. I still want her to step on me. Well, listen, I'm sure that you could pay her to step on you. Those platforms are made for stepping on simps. Isn't it interesting when you run into someone like this in public, though? Like when you are at Safeway or wherever this is, and you see someone like this, and you're like, oh, it's one of these TikTok people, you know, in the wild. Like I remember back in the day, I would sometimes see like a scene kid, you know, at Target or something like that. I'm like, oh, they exist. You know, they actually leave the house with, you know, the colored hair and all that stuff. It's interesting to see. But more than anything, I just respect the fact that they called it what it is. Social Reject Goes Grocery Shopping. And I say, yes, that is indeed what's happening in this TikTok. How about this guy? Bring back this classic. I'm confused by this. Okay, so we've got this fella. We've got this fella in his rumpus room. Looks like this floor is probably from like 1972. Got this young fella in his rumpus room going off to Slipknot. I don't know what this is. It looks like he's shuffling or something. I don't know what kind of dancing this is. I thought he was going to pole dance, though. That's what I was hoping he was going to do. I was like, wow, is that what like Gen Z kids are into now? They listen to Slipknot and pole dance in their parents' basement? That's what I was hoping. Unfortunately, he did this like just weird. He's levitating here. He's got a lot of energy, and I respect that. And who's filming this? How many tries did this take? Is this like his mom? He's like, Mom, I need to make one of my, like, what is this? Footwork. I need to make one of my new metal footwork videos in the rumpus room. And she's like, okay, but I only have 10 minutes before I have to make dinner, so you better get it right the first time. Now, this one gives me hope for the next generation. So you've seen, of course, this whole genre of video of, you know, the live one take vocal cover kind of thing. You've seen that become incredibly popular on TikTok and YouTube and everywhere else. Now, I've been saying for many years, I've been wanting a butt rock revival. I said, when are we going to get kids non-ironically covering Click Click Boom by Saliva? And today, I feel like we got one step closer to my dream coming true. This is this girl covering Bodies by Drowning Pool. I like her face. And I can't tell. Maybe not. Okay, at first I thought this was an Affliction shirt. I don't think it is, actually. I see F-I, but there would be an L in there, so it's not Affliction, but still, it's promising. I smell European. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Those jeans look very European, don't they? But now look at this. Macarena, too. I like it. Oh, she must be German. That's German, right? She sounds German.
I can count to 1, 2. I can count to 2, 3. I can count to 3, 4. What comes after 4?
Oh, she's very popular for these covers. She's from New York and is the vocalist of a metalcore band. Well, listen, she had me fooled. I thought she was a European. Either way, I'm on board with it. Drowning Pool and the Macarena in one video, and I'm on board with it. This gives me hope for the next generation. And with that, I will sign off for this edition of Metalhead TikTok Cringe. I hope everybody made it home safe. I know this is a lot of cringe for one video. I hope you didn't hurt yourself. Just remember, stretch, hydrate, make sure you cool down after the cringe. That's my advice. I love all that hard rock screamo shit.